I'm so dark in this light, you know. Anywho, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is always good, I always get this kind of drink. It's not because it's $1, it just tastes better, and it's like only drinks, like not sodas, I really don't like soda that much, because it's like the fizz, and this is like a light freshman, drink, So I remember this one time, right, when I got like a lot of burns. You remember when I told you that like a Q&A or something like that, or me talking about myself, I can't remember which video was it, because it was long ago, Anywho, like, I remember one time I had birds, remember I had told you that I had a lot of birds. I had like 3 blue ones and 2 green ones and 1 yellow one, I think. I remember this one time, right, and my mom got me 1 green one and 1 blue one, It was for me and my siblings, right? It was only 4 of us at the time, 4 girls, And we was close to age, 2 years apart and 1 year apart. So, yeah. Like, if you guys is like that in your family, comment down below, I really want to know, And it won't make me feel like we're just, like, not the same, Anywho, like I was saying, I got these bluebird and this green bird, right? And the bluebird always, like, bullied the green one. I don't know why. It was just like that, He always bullied him, When I mean, like, my bluebird always, like, bullied the green one, he always peck at him, with his beak, at the green one's head, and it starts to, like, bleed and stuff. Yeah, the bluebird always peck at the green one's head, And it got to a certain point that the blue one was making, like, the green one's skull was, like, out, like, showing, You could see his brain and everything was gouging out because of the bluebird was kept bullying him and pecking him and hurting him, And I kind of felt bad for a second, And I was like, you know what? Let's remove him. Maybe the green one will have a fighting chance, like, legitly a fighting chance, So I left one into the cage and I put one into a small little baby's bath, and I had like a stick right there so he could sit there, So he was like shivering, and his little head was like open, and you could see his skull and everything, At this point, I think he didn't have a fighting chance, because that bluebird was pecking the holy poop out of his head, and it was crazy, I didn't really thought that birds would be like this aggressive, to another bird, I don't know if the bluebird didn't like him because he was a green bird. I'm not too sure. Or he was just much nicer than the other one, I'm not too sure. But he kept doing that, and it made me frustrated, And when I put him into the container and I wake up the next day, that time we was in elementary, And I woke up the next day, and I found out the green bird didn't make it that night, Because his skull was all out and he was like bleeding and goozing and stuff like that. I tried to put like something over his head so nothing can like feast on his little brain with his like open and just there, But I guess the other bird, when he went to school and we come back, it was getting even worse and worse because we couldn't protect the green bird, from the blue bird because we went to school, And I always resented that bluebird, for some odd reason, But it was a child. I was like a child, So, anywho, but we kept feeding him because it was like, I guess he didn't want to be shared the like our time with the other bird, The green bird was very nice, The bluebird was always mean. He always like peck at me, peck at us, like, with his beak, peck at us. I think he was just mean overall, I don't know how my mom even got him, because he was kind of violent, He was like a violent bluebird, And it was not like that big kind of bluebird. He was like awfully small. He was like this big, And I thought they would be friends, The green bird always, like, try to, like, comfort the bluebird. But the bluebird was like, no, I'm going to peck at your head and try to kill you, And I didn't understand that, Just growing up, like, seeing these 2 birds, like, they're not even the green bird was not even fighting the blue bird when he was pecking at his head. He was just letting it happen, and it was so sad to see that, that the green bird didn't have a chance towards the bluebirds. But when my mom brought the blue bird and the green bird home, the bluebird was like our only bird before, and then she brought us like a green bird, and the green, I don't know how she took him out, how she brought him to the house, and he was kind of violent, It was pretty weird, overall, I really take to the green bird, because he was like always sweet, he was like a sweet bird, and like if he did have a chance, it would be much better, But yeah, we had to bury him behind our house because we didn't have nowhere else to bury him. I buried him right next to my mango tree, It was like 6 centimeters high for my mango tree. So I put him in that, and it was pretty much fine, because he stayed right next to the tree, and I always visit him because I had to water the plants, And yeah, we put him in a box and put him under the ground, I don't know if that's even a bad thing or a good thing. We just didn't want no worms or anything crawling on his little face or anything and just eating him alive, That's why we put a box. And we put him into a box and put him into the ground, So yeah, I think that's the only story I will tell you how my bird actually died. I have few versions of how my birds die, but this one was like the craziest one. This was like weird, and it was like a weird experiment, like how my bird died and everything like that. This video is getting too long, Like and subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I see you later. My face is getting a little bit too fat, Like, what is this? Like, is this like normal, Anywho, yeah, bye.